Give us 5 years from today, Kebbi will feed Nigerians with rice.
We have a very large expanse of arable land. Number two, I see agriculture as a path to wealth for the state and for the people of the state.
Governor Idris Wada is not just talking about agriculture. He's putting his money where his mouth is. In Kogi State, tremendous resources and effort are daily being poured into the development and perfecting of thousands of hectares of land for the production of dry season rice and other staple crops.
We are doing mostly mechanized farming. Otherwise, there's no how we could cultivate in 3 months nearly 2,000 hectares. We plow, we harrow, we level before we plant. And we have bulldozers. We are working here every day, 24/7.
From all indications, Kogi State's efforts are paying off. With input from the federal government, thousands of farmers have been given land to cultivate dry season rice. Some new farmers are former political and commercial thugs, and many are physically challenged.
As a member of an association of the physically challenged, we're made to understand that there's ability in disabilities. And we cannot allow this ability in us to lie wasted. So hearing through air the announcement that there's going to be a rice accelerated production in Kogi State, now I look at it and say, I am a farmer, why can't I join?
You can see now we don't have leg. We don't have leg. I see no reason why somebody that are well healthy that will not come to farm and say, let me come and do this thing. Look at all, we don't have leg. They will see enter here, enter the farm, will participate. And now it's more better than others.
What we are seeing here a few months ago was a refuse dump ground, but now we have a youth copper who has put it to good use. And you have these rice plants just behind me, and you see how good the rice is, green, showing that the soil is fertile.
There's a big transformation in this farm. I really enjoy being in this state and be part of this program. There are a lot of employment opportunities, and apart from that, I think in few years to come, I don't think there's any state that will beat this state in terms of rice production.
We are going to be launching soon a program called Youth Employment in Agriculture Program. It's a presidential initiative. The goal is to create a new generation of young commercial farmers for Nigeria. Well, if we don't take actions now, strategically, in another generation, agriculture will be extinct.
Zamfara State is a major dry season rice producer and a key beneficiary of the federal government's growth enhancement scheme.
We have built a very strong build of confidence between us and the farmers. They know that if we make a promise, we will deliver.
No problem. I'm happy to see you. Very happy.
The Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has got it right. And anybody who said he didn't get it right, he doesn't know anything about agriculture. He only sees food in the house or in the market, he buys or he eats. But anybody involved in production, he knows the pain of a farmer to produce. And we know, because we also participate in the farming, that we are only sweating for some others who are in the shade to make profit out of our sweat without necessary commensurate return to the farmers. So the minister got it right.
With an average yield of 4 tons per hectare, it is estimated that 264,000 hectares will produce a record-breaking 1 million tons of paddy rice in 2013.
Now, to understand that, you got to understand that the total amount of paddy, additional paddy, rice paddy we need to be self-sufficient as a country by 2015, according to the policy announced by Mr. President, is 3.2 million metric tons of paddy. Now, we did 1.1 million metric tons of paddy in just one dry season. We're still going into the main season now, and the dry season of this year will go again. And the president is very excited about it. I think it was a great move on his part, and support us to do the dry season. And we're looking into the 2013 dry season to be able to do 3 times more than what we did. And we're going to work with all the same states all across the north, especially for the dry season. So it's quite revolutionary, and I think all the farmers are expecting more from us.
Cultivating rice in sufficiently large enough quantities to meet local demand is just one part of a long-term value chain strategy.
This is the first time in our country where the whole agricultural chain has been thought through properly.
We have to make sure that we have the mills in place that can mill international grade quality rice.
Abdullahi Idris Zuru is the project manager of Labana Mills in Burning Kebbi.
We are expecting to employ a minimum of 3,500 people. It will be possible with Labana Mills and others to take Nigeria into the league of rice exporting countries. Here in Labana, we have 2 plants in one place. It's essentially made for production of parboiled rice. Each of the plants has the capacity of processing 8 tons of paddy per hour. Put together, we are expecting, or we will, at the end, when we start production, process 18 tons per hour in this mill. And we hope to produce up to 22 to 23 hours per day.
Ultimately, the Nigerian government's plan is simple. Using agriculture to accelerate economic growth, the plan is to grow food, create jobs, and create wealth.
Agriculture has the power of creating jobs more than any single sector that we have in the country, especially jobs that impact on the people in the rural areas. And the sense of hope, that it unleashes on the community is quite significant. And for me as a minister, I look at that and I said, guess what? If you want to really address issues of insecurity, when you create jobs and you create hope, it deals with a lot of that. And that's why we are actually going to do more of this. You will see the president invest more in this particular area, especially in the north. It's all about an economic Marshall Plan for the north, and we'll make it work.
For the Nigerian farmers, no farmers, no nation. No farmers, no nation. Great farmers, great nation.
Under the current Minister of Agriculture and his team, President Jonathan is implementing an aggressive, time-bound plan to unlock Nigeria's potential in order to become an agricultural powerhouse.
Access to land is the most basic thing you need if you're going to do agriculture, and land is actually becoming scarcer around the world. 60% of the global amount of land to feed the world is available in Africa, and Nigeria is well ahead of the pack on that. We have 84 million hectares of arable land, of which no more than 40% is actually cultivated. So we've got massive amount of land here. You look at water, River Niger, River Benue, we've got all this water. We got 273 billion cubic meters of water. And so water is not our problem. It's managing the water that we have to do better at. And third is labor. You look at, we have a lot of youth that are out there, very cheap labor that we can use to intensify agriculture. And look at our population, 167 million people, except we've been using that population, keeping farmers of other countries happy and employed. And the economy is actually doing well because we've been import dependent. And so what we're doing now under the president is we are saying it's about us. It's about our country. It's about our rural areas. It's about our farmers. It's about our youth. It's about our own security. Buy Nigeria. Eat Nigeria. As far as I'm concerned, if it's not produced in Nigeria, it's not good enough for Nigerians.
Well, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, is a realist. He's a practical man. He's a sincere man. He is, to me, Mr. Agriculture. He lives it, he practices it, he encourages it, and he puts his money where his mouth is. Once he says he's going to do something, he will dedicate his staff and work hard and implement it.
He's very focused to change this state and other states. He only needs people to queue into his program. He already knows where he's going. He knows what he wants to do. He's just looking for people that can go with him. I don't think that man can be derailed.
This is the first minister I know that if you send him an email, within a couple of minutes, he's replying to you. You send him a text wherever he is in the world, he's replying to your issue. He's giving directives to his office to intervene immediately. In those days, you can't even contact a minister, sir. You can't. If you go and wait in the office for hours. But now, you email him, immediately you get a reply. And he has a solid backing and support of Mr. President. All of these, we must thank Mr. President because it's his program. We are just copying it, and whatever they have promised, they are giving. So we just thank God as a nation that we have this phase of our development where we are focusing on agriculture.
Nigeria's current agricultural revolution is already attracting major investors and partners.
That's why, as a government, we attracted Dominion Rice. Dominion Rice was the largest producer of rice in Kenya. It's an American investor. Today, they are investing $40 million in commercial rice production in Taraba State of Nigeria, which is a local partner here. That farm is going to be the largest producer of rice in Africa in the next 18 months, straight out of Nigeria. Now that's what I'm talking about, producing it here, unlocking the power of Nigeria as a global powerhouse in food. So lots of things that still needs to be done. My dream for agriculture is quite large. I don't think small.
Dr. Adesina says Nigeria's ongoing agricultural revolution is the result of teamwork and a president who supports the transformation agenda in word and deed.
This is one president that is very calm, is very compassionate, very courageous, and it gives you quite a lot of leeway to do the best thing in the public interest. And I very much appreciate that. He's a remarkable leader, and I believe Nigerians should give me a lot of credit for the transformation you see in the agricultural sector today, because without his support, we won't be having the successes we are having.
If the synergy and collaboration between the Nigerian government, the private sector, and small-scale farmers continues, there is no reason why agriculture cannot overtake crude oil exports and become Nigeria's new black gold.